How many times have you seen these symbols? The first time? The 10th time? Or has this already appeared countlessly? Nestle is undoubtedly one of the most recognizable brands in our minds. But it's also not uncommon for their appearance to coincide with scandals, lawsuits, and complaints.
The global south, mostly in Asia, Africa, and Latin America.
The food conglomerate has been associated with all kinds of crimes, from using child labor, providing contaminated food, destroying forests, and stealing water resources. Nevertheless, Nestle is still standing, growing, and becoming the largest food corporation in the world. But why? Come join us on a time travel journey. We're in the year 1839. This man is Heinrich Nestle, a German, and at that time, the owner of a pharmacy in the city of Frankfurt. For some unknown reasons, between 1834 and 1839, he migrated to Switzerland. Not long after, he was officially authorized in Lausanne to perform chemical experiments, make prescriptions, and sell medicines. To quickly earn money, he also expanded his business into many different fields, such as wine, breweries, carbonated mineral water, and lemonade. The Nestle brand was also founded during this time. However, it wasn't until 1867 that the infant mortality rate rose sharply due to a lack of milk. Not all mothers had fresh milk available for their children. So an idea suddenly dawned on Nestle. Why not sell milk that has enough nutrients for mothers who are unable or unwilling to breastfeed? Nestle collaborated with Jean Balthasar Schnetzler, a human nutrition scientist, to develop a powdered beverage that was a combination of cow's milk and cereal. This milk proved to be a viable alternative to breastfeeding. Thanks to its convenience and suitability for modern lifestyle, this product was quickly sold across European countries. But Nestle's ambition didn't stop there. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Henri Nestle and Swiss food businesses joined hands to develop the chocolate industry. They then acquired companies that produced condensed milk, white chocolate, biscuits, and canned food. By selling a wide variety of goods at affordable prices, Nestle attracted a large number of customers. Noticing a growth in demand, Nestle expanded production. They decided to build more production facilities in developing countries, especially South America, where there's fertile land, abundant water, and diverse resources. But Nestle's work has not always gone smoothly. During the two world wars, Nestle faced a decline in orders due to reduced demand. Come what may, World War II also helped introduce Nestle's products to many potential customers. For example, Nescafé instant coffee has been adopted as a staple beverage by many U.S. military units. At the same time, Nestle also supplied canned food to the German army. After World War II, Nestle's business continued to grow in both Europe and North America. Banking on abundant capital, this company has acquired a series of food manufacturers that were their potential future competitors. To name a few, Maggi, a Swiss spice manufacturer, Cross & Blackwell, a British food brand, Findus, a Swedish food and beverage maker, and also Libby's and Stouffer's. By owning famous European and North American food companies, Nestle easily became a star in the global food market. So far, Nestle has possessed 2,000 brands, some of which are their most renowned ones. But of course, Nestle cannot take over all the canned food manufacturers in the world. They're simply a big brand among dozens of other giants. Their need for canned foods has also reached its limit. However, Nestle does not want to increase product prices because it will lose customers. They want to maximize profits with minimized expenditures, and so, a series of covert actions began. Nestle leaders immediately looked at each of their products sold on the global market. Their eyes fell on the infant formula. The year 1867 came to their mind when Henri Nestle and his close friend were researching infant formula milk products for mothers unable to breastfeed their kids. An idea was sparked. Why confine the customers of infant formula milk to mothers who cannot breastfeed, when Nestle can sell this product to all mothers? However, to get breastfeeding mothers to buy infant formula, Nestle needs to send them the message that their product provides more nutrition than breast milk. Nestle then launched thousands of marketing campaigns. Slow and steady wins the race. Mothers gradually trust and buy more Nestle milk. However, Nestle's milk does not provide enough nutrition for children, as their ads say. Breast milk supplies antibodies and several nutrients that help protect babies from illnesses, including diarrhea, meningitis, gastroenteritis, ear infections, and nerve cell development. Replacing breast milk with infant formula is considered a cause of malnutrition in young children. Several doctors and international organizations, such as the WHO, have condemned Nestle's marketing practices and called for a boycott of their products. This situation forced Nestle to redesign its message to breast milk is the best choice for infants, and Nestle products cannot replace it. However, this corporation still finds other ways to circumvent the law. In poor countries, many mothers are not healthy enough to provide milk for their babies. In other cases, some mothers have to take drugs that make cells susceptible to toxicity. When it comes to premature birth, it's also not recommended to provide mother's milk for the baby, especially in impoverished areas. Premature babies can have difficulties getting breastfed, and the milk of those mothers is not nutritious enough. Additionally, a 1985 study suggested that breast milk could transmit HIV. So, milk companies, including Nestle, have exploited this scientific evidence to inflate the risks of breastfeeding and provide free infant formula in poor countries. Nestle was accused of providing free or low-cost supplies of infant formula in hospitals and maternity centers, often dispensed by milk nurses, who are saleswomen dressed in nurse uniforms. Through this, Nestle hopes that mothers will buy infant formula to supplement their children, even when it's not necessary. But it seems that the Swiss corporation has either accidentally or intentionally forgotten that in countries with low per capita income, mothers often lack knowledge, money, and clean water. Some other poor mothers use unsanitary water to prepare milk. When their babies consume that milk, toxins are absorbed very quickly. The risk of death from diseases such as diarrhea and pneumonia is also increased by 6 to 25 times. Their products already contain toxic substances, whether accidental or not. In 2024, Public Eye, a Swiss investigative organization, sent samples of the Swiss multinational's baby food products sold in Asia, Africa, and Latin America to a Belgian laboratory for testing. The results and examination of product packaging revealed added sugar in the form of sucrose or honey in samples of Nido, a follow-up milk formula brand intended for use for infants aged 1 and above, and Cerelac, a cereal aimed at children aged between 6 months and 2 years. In Nestle's main European markets, including the UK, there is no added sugar in formulas for young children. While some cereals aimed at older toddlers contained added sugar, there's none in products targeted at babies between 6 months and 1 year. Adding sugar beyond WHO recommended levels in poor countries is considered to increase the risk of obesity and many other diseases. Especially, obesity is increasingly a problem in low and middle-income countries. In Africa, the number of overweight children under 5 has increased by nearly 23% since 2000, according to the World Health Organization. Globally, more than 1 billion people are living with obesity. Not stopping there, in some cases, milk produced by Nestle is also contaminated, directly endangering consumers. In 2005, Italian authorities confiscated 30 million liters of Nestle milk. Nestle also ordered a recall of several products from the Nadina 1, Nadina 2 to Latte Mio. According to information released at the time, Nestle used packaging printed with substandard ink. Toxic substances from the packaging leaked into the milk, therefore posing a danger to consumers. In 2008, the Saudi Arabian Food and Drug Authority reported on its website that high concentrations of melamine were found in Nestle milk products sold in the kingdom. They also issued a warning that those products could be harmful to health. Nevertheless, after all the scandals, Nestle is still standing strong in most of the countries where they maintain their manufacturing operations. In addition, local consumers may not use Nestle milk products should there be no need for them. But for clean water, it's a different story. For example, California has a series of crystal clear springs that flow down a steep mountainside in a national forest. Each year, Nestle draws 45 million gallons of pure water from the spring and bottles it in the name of Arrowhead Water brand. Despite exploiting federal land, the Swiss giant paid the U.S. Forest Service and state practically nothing, and it profited handsomely. Nestle Water's 2018 worldwide sales exceeded $7.8 billion USD. Conservationists say some creek beds in the area are now bone dry, and once gushing springs have been reduced to mere trickles. The Forest Service recently determined that Nestle's activities have left Strawberry Creek impaired, while the current water extraction is drying up surface water resources. It's not only in the U.S. state of California that Nestle has had to face scandals related to the exploitation of surface water resources. Similar situations occur in other areas, such as Michigan, Colorado. In countries with scarce water resources like Pakistan and Nigeria, things are even worse. For example, Nestle's Pakistan plant was criticized for not providing drinking water to the local community. In 2013, reports revealed that thousands of Pakistanis in Abadi Dawan village were getting sick by being forced to drink sludge water, as Nestle drained the water supply to bottle it. Nestle then sold this water back to Pakistanis. Results from the German Food Watch laboratory have shown that infant formula products from Nestle and several other companies contain aromatic mineral oil components that are suspected of causing cancer. Mineral oils are the biggest contaminant in the human body. Aromatic mineral oils are described by the European Food Safety Authority, or EFSA, as potentially carcinogenic and mutagenic, which is why such residues should not be present in food, even in the smallest amounts. Packaging is often the cause of mineral oil contamination. Not only has Nestle been embroiled in food safety scandals, but reports have also shown that they're responsible for environmental degradation and water scarcity. Not only does Nestle regularly stockpile clean water in poor countries, but it's also involved in many child labor scandals. Take a look at the screen. This popular snack is surprisingly produced by child laborers under the age of 15. In 2015, at a farm in the Devo department of Ivory Coast, investigators found evidence of forced labor when a young worker received no wages for a year of work on the farm. They have no protection gear and no minimum age or health requirements. After all, any action to stop Nestle's human rights abuses has yet to be held up. Why? It's because Nestle's use of money is very clever. In Europe, Nestle used money to bribe officials. The government then covered up the company's violations. In 2025, a French Senate investigation committee reported that President Emmanuel Macron's government had concealed decisions regarding the illegal treatment of mineral water by food giant Nestle, including its world-famous Perrier brand. The committee stated that, alongside Nestle Water's lack of transparency, the French government's own opacity must also be called out. In poor countries, Nestle's investments are seen as an essential resource for economic development. The most important thing is that Nestle has created jobs for people. Only when people have stable jobs will they have enough income to support themselves. When people make ends meet for a minimum standard of living, they will have less incentive to engage in anti-government riots. So, the more jobs a business can provide for its people, the happier the governments of poor countries will be. Nestle is a food manufacturing company. The characteristic of this industry is that it uses a lot of labor. Like Nestle SA's unit in Pakistan, in 2019, it had about 308,000 employees. Therefore, the Pakistani government goes to great lengths to facilitate Nestle for the sake of this country's stability. In places like Ivory Coast, while Western human rights organizations condemn Nestle's use of child labor, it's the children themselves who try to make money at Nestle. There is no money in Burkina. We came here to have some money to eat. That's what Karim Bakari, a child laborer in Ivory Coast, said when he came to Nestle for a job and was paid $34 before going home. If Nestle weren't here, children would have likely gone hungry and been condemned to a hopeless life. Whereas if Nestle is made to leave, the poor workers will protest. On the other hand, Nestle isn't all bad. To be able to sell more products in poor but populous regions like Africa, Nestle needs to win the hearts of the people there. The methods they often use are to support educational programs and household economic development. Typical examples of such efforts include enrolling children in school, promoting the use of good farming practices, and implementing agroforestry activities to increase climate resilience. While implementing its large-scale marketing and sales program, Nestle also, perhaps unintentionally, enabled thousands of Africans to launch their own street vending businesses and manage teams of vendors. They sometimes just need to use ingredients sponsored by Nestle to process into many different types of drinks to have a stable income. Nestle is also in favor of this approach and often has support policies that are suitable for its consumers. Their actions, to some extent, indirectly help many Africans escape poverty. Nevertheless, several immediate benefits cannot offset Nestle's disregard for human rights. When other corporations see that Nestle is not being punished, they will imitate it, and wealthy corporations may disregard any ethical standards. Any good thing built on the foundation of an evil purpose will never be ensured. Like many other multinational corporations, Nestle is somewhat greedy. They're willing to use every loophole in the legal system in every country to optimize their benefits, including promoting baby formula over breastfeeding and child labor in cocoa farming. Many individuals and human rights organizations have protested against Nestle, but they still stand. That's because Nestle has cleverly used unconventional methods such as bribery and creating beneficial partnerships with officials in the West. In poor countries, their business activities inadvertently solve the problem of unemployment. However, only the future can answer whether Nestle can maintain its current way of working.